it going, guys? Today I am bringing you a follow-up video to something I put together a fair few years ago now called 5 licks guaranteed to get you out of a plateau. This video is designed to do a similar thing, it's just a more updated version with loads of different techniques and ideas thrown into the mix designed to help you improve. The last video was largely about speed and loads of techniques designed to appeal to loads of other people. And this video is designed to do exactly the same thing, except I would argue they're probably a little bit more mature licks, if you like, with a little bit more feel and will probably slot into your playing a little bit more easily. And this video also comes with a little bit of a story attached, so stay with me just a moment so you know where this video is coming from a little bit. A lot of you will have found me through my Van Halen content, all of the lessons I did from Ozzy Osbourne's guitarists, whether it be Randy Rhoads, Jakey Lee, Zakk Wylde, Gus G, and other great players, Satriani, Steve Vai, John Five, you name it. They've all made a huge contribution to the way that I play now. But once I got to, and this is going back in time to maybe 2020, 2021, I hit a wall. I didn't feel like I was going anywhere. I kept my cool for you guys on the YouTube channel, but I felt like I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't improving at all. And it was getting a bit annoying, can't lie, really frustrating, thinking I've come all this way and I've just hit a wall. I have no idea where I'm going. And eventually I happened upon a player called Jason Hook. And he was the guitarist at the time of Five Finger Death Punch, and since then he's gone to form his own band called Flat Black, and they've just put an album out. And ever since I've been listening to this new material and learning some of the riffs and solos, it's reminded me of how much he's actually inspired me since I first discovered him. And a lot of the licks that I have taken from his style have slotted into my playing so well. So if you share the same influences as me, they're guaranteed to benefit you. Some of them are much more up-tempo and picking orientated, others are really bendy and have a lot of flair to them, and I think you're gonna have a lot of fun. To follow along with this lesson as well, you need to be tuned down a whole step. I'm using my Japanese Charvel So Cal with Zakk Wylde EMGs, and that's just for the sake of variety. If you are in standard tuning, play a lot of these licks 2 frets lower. You've probably noticed that this passage of licks is really rather long. It's heavily inspired by the track Wash It All Away from Five Finger Death Punch. And the reason why I've chosen this is because it captures so many ideas that really inspired me from Hook's playing, and you can use them all over the place. The original track would be played live on a 7-string in standard tuning, so it would be played in B minor, and I'm in the B minor positions here, but it's going to sound like A minor to your ears because I'm tuned down a whole step, so keep that in mind. I am going to begin with a slide up to 7 on the B and high E. You've got 7 and then the B, then 10 on the B, bent up a whole step. Really simple. And then keep an eye on these notes. I'm going to play them once. That's the group of notes that we're going to be adding a really cool sequence to in just a second. It's basically the B natural minor scale, or a very small section of it anyway. What we're going to do is start off on the 7th fret of the high E, and we're going to play these 3 notes. So 7, 9, and 10, and then this sequence begins. We go back to 7, then we start to come down in groups of 2. Watch closely. Okay, we stop there on 7th fret of the B. A little quicker now. All of that's alternate pick, to keep in mind. Then what we're going to do is, once we've got to that B string, bookmark that lick in your head. We're going to go to the 9th fret on the G and slide immediately up to the 12th fret there on the G. And what we're going to do here is change our pattern of notes. We're still effectively in the same scale, just a different position of it. And we're doing same fret numbers here, 12, 11, and 9. And it goes down in groups of 4. Once you've done that note there, the cool little lick in its own right, we're going to go back to the 12th fret on the D and then slide down to 9, back into the B minor pentatonic. Throw in some pinch harmonics there for flavor. Slide down to 9, pull off the 7, 9 on the A and slide down to 7. So then we're down to, what's that there? 7 and 5 on the A, and then 7, 5, 7 on the low E. Then we're about to go into a really nice climbing lick. This climbing lick is fantastic. It combines a lot of elements of the pentatonic scale, which will be familiar to lots of you, but it's in a really interesting order. We're starting off on the low E. And then what we're going to do is slide up on the A string. You got 5, 7, and slide up to 9, where we're going to repeat the phrase again. So in total, you should have this. Now this is where it gets really interesting. You're going to skip over to the G string here, 6th fret, slide up to 7. Then we're going to play 9 on the D and then continue that finger flattening phrase. So and you finish there on that 7th fret of the G. Straight after, you've got this really common pentatonic phrase here. We bend up the G string, 9th fret, a whole step. Cut that bend off and then play B7, then the high E7. In total so far, you should have this. Okay, bookmark that in your brain. Then we go into this really cool climbing lick. Loads of people have played this idea. You're basically taking basically sliding up the relevant pentatonic positions there. It goes. Then we bend up that 14th fret there on the high E a half step, and then we throw in this really interesting idea. We're reaching with our little finger to the 16th fret there, sometimes even played on the 15th fret, it's cool. And what's great about this, it's very hard to explain, but if this isn't played absolutely perfect, it actually adds to the excitement of the solo. So you bend that 14th fret up a half step to go from what is basically an F sharp to a G. With a little finger, you're going to reach for the 16th fret. Then pull off very quickly, let the string down, and then resolve on 12. Then finish there on the 14th. Oops. It works on either the 15th or the 16th. 16th would be melodically correct, 15 would be the passable one, which still sounds great. This lick is absolutely brutal. Technique-wise, it's really difficult to do, but very easy to remember for this hand, because each of the notes on both strings, the high E and B that is, are the same fret numbers. We're starting off on the 15th fret of the high E, and then we're going to go 15, 14, and 12 for both strings. Take note, obviously, they're in a group of 6. Then we're going to jump up to the 17th fret, fret, 15th fret, and then 14th fret for both strings. Up another position, 19, 17, 15. Up another position, 20, 19, and 17, but there's a little bit of interest on the end of this. We're doing a group of 6. Then we're going to climb immediately back up to the top note that we started the position with. So you should have this. Once you get to that 20th fret, you're going to bend up a whole step. So collectively, you should have this. Watch closely. Really cool lick. And then there's one last phrase to finish it on the end here, 22nd fret. Bent up a whole step. Really cool there. In terms of recommendations for technique, keep as little movement in your wrist as physically possible and use your preferred fingers. Jason uses those 3 fingers, I use those 3 fingers. It's just easier to get a good purchase of the notes up there. And if you were to use the typical 1 finger per fret technique there, you've got a ring finger that just gets in the way, so you might as well use it when you've got the space. Give that lick a whirl. This is effectively a solo from the new Flat Black album. It's from the track It's Your Lack of Respect. Originally it was recorded on a guitar in baritone tuning, so it will sound like you're in C sharp if you follow the correct tuning, but in this case I'm tuned down a whole step, as you know, so it's going to sound like E minor. And what you've got to start off with is a unison bend here in what looks like the F sharp minor pentatonic shape. Then this really cool repetitive lick, which bent my ear in a totally different direction at first. You know, you get that Paul Gilbert exercise? That kind of idea. We're just doing the same pattern, but we're inserting different notes on the B string. You've got 14 on the high E there, and then 18, 17, and 14 on the B. Weird. And in the original track, it's played so quick, it's like it's not really quantified. You sort of skate over the beat, and then when the bar changes, you end up changing up your pattern, which I'll show you in a second. There's this little lick thrown onto the end here. Climb back up. Then we're going to change pattern here. Once we've got to the high E, we're then going to go... We're then going to go 14, 17, and then with whichever finger you choose, I choose my ring finger, and then going to hammer on to the 18th fret there on the B. So all together, you should have this in summary. Then what you've got to round this off is this really cool linear blues lick, if you like, but played very quickly. So it starts off there on the 21st fret on the high E, and you're playing chromatic pattern there, down to 17, 19 and 17 on the B, then play the same thing in the octave below, same again, climb back up the pentatonic. What we're going to do is similar to what we did before. Then on this 17th of the B here, we're going to bend up. In this case, I'm bending up, how many semitones have we got? So it's 2.5 steps. Then for fun, I'm throwing in that sort of Zakk Wylde with a little bit of whammy bar there for character. This last passage contains some really tasty phrasing. It's inspired once again from the new Flat Black album, from a track called Sideways. This isn't an exact replication of the solo on the album, but it contains the salient points which really grabbed me, if you like. We're starting off in the B minor pentatonic position. We're going B string 7, high E7, and then back to B. This time it's high E10, bent up a whole step. Pick it again, let it down. Pull off to 7, then we're going to go up to 12 and bend up a whole step. So the whole thing. Cut that bend off, and then you're going to play this phrase. So 12 with that middle finger there. So it's a very quick trill sort of a lick. So 12, little finger 14, pull off to 12, pull off to 10, and then you've got 14 on the B there. And then it goes back to 10 there on the high E. Then to add some extra melody, we're going to 12 again on the B, then playing 14. Back to 10. Then we're bending up B12 again, but this time a whole step. So it goes up a whole step, and then underneath we're fretting the 10th fret there to create that really beautiful dissonance. Then let that down. Sounds like a perfect resolution there, but we're not done. Going back to the B string there, 10th fret, and we're then going to play this phrase, watch closely. Right, let me break that down a little bit because there are some subtle variations in there. We're bending up the B string, 10th fret. Then what we're going to do next is almost repeat that. And then we're going to play with some half step bends here which sound nuts. So we're bending up that G string there, 9th fret, a half step. And then going back to the B string 7, and then we're going to do the same thing but on the blue note in the pentatonic. Sounds nuts at a higher tempo. It's like, what did you do there? Then we're going to throw in this phrase here, going back to 9 on the G. So again, a bluesy phrase there in essence, picking that note, hammering onto 10, pulling off, pulling off. Then ending there on a G, 7th fret. So the whole thing, so you've got... So cool, I love that. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you've liked what you've seen, please send it to another guitarist in need. We all hit ruts occasionally, and if you think this will benefit them, please send it on ahead. In the meantime, look down below, hit subscribe. Please do, I'd appreciate it. Like as well, and any other lessons that appeal to you on the screen now, go for it. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.